Well, hello, YouTube. It's Affordable Sham, who hasn't posted a public video in a week or so since I moved. Yeah, I got to move. How about that? And you know how excited I was about it? I talked about it quite a bit. Looking forward to being relieved from the gang stalkers, their trafficking business, and having to be involved in their satanic abuse every single day and night. Well, where I moved to is a place called Riva Ridge, and that's in Lakewood. So I moved from Sheridan, the high-rise affordable hellhole, and have moved into this lovely private, it's not in a program, it's not attached to any stigma or anything like that, and I got to pick my own apartment. So, how good could that be? It wasn't assigned as a project. And so I came and I looked at an apartment, and as you can see from their website, they always have apartments available, and they have still the apartment called 103. It always says now, it's always on there. Yeah, it is. And so I applied for that apartment. That was just fine. It was available right away in the middle of December, and I could have moved in right away in the middle of December. There was no problem with me moving from where I was over here. But after applying, I got an email that said, "You've been upgraded to an apartment that cost, $150 more. But we're discounting that for you. We're taking that off. And the apartment has been remodeled. It's brand new. Everything in it's done." Well, the building was built in '84, this property. And so, yeah, that sounds great. And we gave you a new furnace, and we gave you all these things. Well, I was alarmed immediately alarmed. I freaked out, actually. And I called my advisor and I said, "I'm getting over there right away, because every single apartment that I've seen in 3 years in the Denver area that has been available immediately was all of a sudden pulled for needing to do certain adjustments, remodels, repairs, and it took weeks." So I came over and I looked at it, and the floor was open. The floor was open only in one area, which turns out to be a very critical area, because we now know exactly where to go to find the equipment that has been embedded for the purpose of surveillance and stalking by a person up Main Stalker is in 305, right directly above me. So now, instead of being in an attic 12 to 15 feet above me, his direct energy weapons are literally 3 feet above me. And he uses them all the time. So how in the world did this happen? What exactly happened? I came into this unit on the 2nd. I signed the lease. They tried to get me to sign the lease the 28th, the 27th, the 29th, the 30th, the 31st. I mean, I got emails there, sign your lease, sign your lease. We don't sign your lease before you move in, right? So I signed my lease that morning, and I came and met her, and, it was all fairly normal, right? Except for she kept talking about how she really liked Lakewood police and how they were part of the crime-free and drug-free community, which I had never heard of. And she likes to use that when she calls them. And if I ever need to call, say, "Hey, we're part of the drug-free and crime-free." I mean, she literally told me this 1 week ago, 8 days ago. "Call and tell them you're part of the drug and crime-free community." Then she takes me to my apartment. And I said, I'm just curious, if any of my neighbors were to poke a hole in my wall, or if I was to smell fentanyl. "Oh, you'll never smell that in here. Nobody would do that." Kind of like Diana, really, right? Like immediate discard, right? As opposed to, you would call me right away, we would discuss what happened, send me a tape, and we'll take care of it, right? No, it won't happen, because it won't exist, because we've created it. So here I have this property, and granted, I did mess up a little, because it only has like 37 reviews for about 37 years of operation. And the pattern they have is, whenever they have a lot of apartments available, they have a couple of fake reviews get pushed in there, or somehow they contact people and make reviews. So it's like every 2 months, then a month, every month, then 4 months. But there's a pattern that I should have alerted me. I wouldn't have stayed in a hotel that only had that many reviews for certain. There's something wrong. But what I did deny with myself was the intuition. I am being baited and switched, right? I came and I looked, and the whole thing was just immediate alarm. And I did not listen to God's message in any way to that, nor did I continue to perceive looking, because I believed in the manager. And, I went for the reviews. This was 20 minutes walk from any public transportation, so the likelihood of zombies melting down outside of the community are quite few. I walk around the neighborhood and I don't see fentanyl, I don't see drug addicts, I don't see fools. Everybody that I've met out here is a much higher IQ than anywhere else I've been in the last couple of years in Denver. And I had great hopes for it. They're normal people for the most part, wanting to live normal lives, unlike where I came from, where they have no interest in any normal life and they have no interest in maintaining anything good. They want to tear everything down, including the buildings. So that's what they did here. She told me 2 warnings. She told me one about, wasn't really a warning, but it was a commentary about maintenance. That, he's been around for a while, does things the way he wants to, doesn't really listen to her, which I thought was weird. Why would you tell me that? I don't care, right? I'm a tenant. But it was conversational, so whatever. But these are the little things that in retrospect you're like, wait a minute, right? Because it all fell together the minute she walked out the door. She also told me about this person that was above me, and how this person above me was a very strange person, a very angry person. And he had lived, she said, far away in the community, which it's only 3 buildings, so I don't really know what that meant. And it appears that he lived right next door. But I'm not sure about that, because she won't cooperate with the police or assist at this point, as of today. But I think she'll change her mind in the morning to help me get some information so I can get some protective orders, especially against the one upstairs and all occupants that would go there, because he's every bit as crazy and right off the cuff psychoid as the other maintenance dude. So she gives me this information, the crime and drug free, we've got this maintenance person, and there's this kind of freak above you. And he's a freak, I shouldn't say freak, but she described him as a coddled child, basically, who complained about the people below him so much because they smoked in their apartment. And you're allowed to smoke in your apartment here. It's not in the lease that you can't smoke in your apartment. And she was making it clear that he had a big problem in telling other people what to do in their apartments. And because they wouldn't listen to him, he demanded to be moved. I don't know if this story is real. I have no idea. And he demanded to be moved to an empty unit directly above me, right? Well, he was moved in right at the same time they decided to upgrade my apartment suddenly. Well, it turns out this upgrade was done without any permits. Yeah, a remodel is a $40 permit. Installing a furnace and HVAC so it can be checked to make sure it's installed properly and everything's done is $20. They did it all without a permit because they were tampering it, and they tampered everything here. So I came in and I was in here maybe 30, 40 minutes alone, and instantly in came the dude above me, 3 feet above me, with a script. And he did not stop for 9 hours. Stalking, running, stomping, banging walls, dropping. He was nuts. And it's a fabulous recording, and it will be posted. We're doing a new channel here for this group, and we're calling it the Red Guard. So, but this is just updating Affordable Sham. So he goes off for hours, and 9 hours. I didn't sleep at all my first 4 days, at all. I wasn't permitted. Does it sound familiar? Yeah. And what's going on? How far from hell is this, right? So then he takes a break about 10 o'clock, does a shift change, and then they go all night long. The next day, I write the manager about the stalker above. And I write her very firmly that I'm getting protective orders. I will not deal with this. Who has put him up there? You told me he doesn't like smoke, but he's up there running around. And he's very rude. And what can I do? Can I move possibly to 103? Well, the attitude that came across, she didn't respond at all, first of all. And then when she did respond, she responded to somebody else with me in the third person, saying, Kimberly wants to move. No, Kimberly wants the stalker to end. What doesn't she get? This is day 3. Here. Oh, we know. Everybody knows what I'm saying. So they go off. I write her on the 4th. I say, enough. It's done, You know damn well that I'm going to prosecute the hell out of all of this, Yeah. So I then don't move over because my things are coming over. I had my stuff moved over on Thursday and my internet installed, and she didn't respond, right? Always responds late in the third person like you don't exist. So I said, no, you're going to deal with what you've done here. I moved in. It's time for you to deal with the stalkers and the opioids, because after I sent the first note to her about the stalkers, they began opioiding me. And we're up to 60 to 70 opioid infusions a day, except they're using about 50% unscented aerosol pharmaceutical opioids, which is the stuff that took me right to the hospital at Sheridan 4 weeks ago. And most people backed off immediately when they saw, oh my God, she's allergic to this shit. Oh my God, we almost killed her. And oh my God, she's on the phone with the DEA. She just got home from the hospital. And oh my God. And a lot of people at Sheridan backed off. At the end, there was only 2 people who were willing to do the shift, and the crones in the wall, as we described. So they begin doing this opioid stuff. So I write her a warranty of habitability. Well, first I complained about the opioids. Then I wrote her a warranty of habitability. It appears that there's ductwork that has been tampered, and all of his stalking continually. And the cover of this recording is tonight's wall telltale sign. I just tonight started putting up their poisonings on the door publicly, because that's where they go for first responders, so that they know exactly what they're coming into. Just like when the first responders came to Sheridan and they were sprayed heavily with fentanyl when they were trying to help me. There were 3 of them, and they were 3 white women, and they were attacked just like I was attacked. This is who they are. This is what they do. They're niggers. Sorry, but white trash on fentanyl destroying my apartment, that's all they are. It's not a color, it's an attitude. So I give her the warranty of habitability, and I send it to her, and she had until 8:03 this morning by state law to respond. It's a 24-hour response. All you have to do is say, we got your note. We will be back with you shortly. Right? That's all. But she didn't respond, so now they have no response. There's nothing in court they can say whatsoever. They've lost. But she got her shit together about 10 o'clock after talking with my associate, who had received pictures of the damages in the apartment. And the manager decided she was going to abbreviate my warranty of habitability and only do the things that weren't related. It would be similar to saying weren't related to an attic, right? No one's in the attic because it doesn't exist, so we're not going to address the opioids because those are just the way we want them. We're not going to address the meth, the opioids, the poisoning, because we want that to happen. So she's picked and choosed her way through the warranty of habitability. We had a combative person come in today who was not qualified to do the mold testing, but he did it, and that's fine. I know he wasn't qualified. I will be paying for my own qualified inspector. depending on the results of this, but it was an extremely flippant, rude cartel experience. At the end, the guy was kind of nice and he's on edge, but I realize everybody is coming to the door being told certain things, right? This is how criminals try to get people to turn against you. So he came with Marty's attitude and Leah's attitude that I'm going to irritate you. And by the end, he was just perfectly fine and we understood each other, right? Because I'm not a problem. I've never been a problem. I am an easy person to get along with, and I'm an excellent tenant as I've rented over 2,000 units just in the last 15 years alone around the world. So, and I've never been evicted whatsoever. So I have no problem, getting along with people. But when they come with that attitude, again, took a lot of work to who are you? What are you doing? And so that I expect that fully tomorrow. So they've scheduled supposedly some repairs, but they're not the repairs I've asked for, and they don't seem to have any understanding of what I've asked for, nor have they said, I don't understand what you're explaining or what your problem is. Can we come look at it? Can you explain it? They haven't done any of that. They're just making it up because they're covering up, right? So I'm now involved in having to waste time with Marxists, once again, who are criminals covering up how many crimes a day? 60 opioid poisonings from the narco-terrorist upstairs, holes being constantly put in, brand new ceilings and walls, constant stalking, and there's just no resolution. This is day 8. This will be today, Tuesday, will be my 8th, 7th and a half day here. And all of this has progressed so far. I mean, literally a warranty of habitability before I move in checklist, right? Oh, right? So all of a sudden everything's unfolding. So tonight I sent her several emails, again, outlining the opioids and drug poisonings from 305 and 206, which is next door. They joined in heavily last night and tonight as if they were, it's 5:12. Their starting time is 5:12 to 5:30. And of course, tomorrow they'll change it to 6:15. But, that's the niggers listening. Because if they weren't surveilling, clearly they wouldn't be surveilling, would they? I can't. This place is fairly well insulated. I can't hear anybody else in their unit at all. This is all surveillance. So I'm being surveilled like I was at Moline through the ductwork. And this was all put in and established before I got here. They have Wi-Fi repeaters in the walls. They are up in the ductwork. They listen to every word. They record every word. They masturbate on me in the bathroom, just like the other ones did. We have 206, the women, and the guy upstairs always come into the bathroom instantly. I just spent the last hour running him around a 600 square foot apartment, and 10 times he chased me. There is now a big list on the wall, and that includes all of their bullshit from the 15th, the 5:12 until 4 a.m. And the way that list runs for audio, (1712, 206, and 305 join together on my common wall and start their stalking. 1733, 1841, 18 something, 1816, 1900, 1923, 19 something, 2010, 2017, 2018, 2016, 2028. These are all times of abuses, opioids, and stalking, and electrical weapons and Jews. 2031, 2040, 2041, 2043, 2047. These are all different areas of the apartment. 2050, 2100, 2108, 2131, 2140, 2144, 2154. Then we have, I was working, so I had headset on. There was a lot going on. That's on a different recorder. 0012, 0121, 0124, 0155, 0300. 0300, 0353, ended with 12 continuous hours of 305 occupants stalking, pacing, banging, drugging, and dropping Jews. Is the real business better or worse since 305 moved over? Who's responsible for the criminal impunity? And that's my 5-page door list, all made since 5/12, so it hasn't been 11 hours. So this is a record. This is a record. They didn't wait 30 minutes to begin attacking me. They didn't wait for anybody to pay. They didn't wait to get the money from Dola. They didn't wait to get the money from me. They didn't wait till my furniture was moved in. Whatever millennial put this together is definitely the one to take all of the lessons straight to the wood chipper with them. I may be repeating myself. I've just added on to this. But if it's not clear enough, it's the same maintenance group. So when the fire inspector came and we said to Steve Reynolds, do you work for ComCap? And he said, no, I work for the organization managing the building. And we looked at him, and then he began to obstruct the official government inspection. And that was it. It's that organization. 3 locations, same bullshit.